Teamwork makes the dream work. Ladies and gentlemen, teamwork makes the dream work. Pretty corny, right? Well, three people in synchronized belief are more powerful than 1,000 people who've never looked each other in the eyes. That's a fact. Have you ever seen, I remember seeing these reels or these memes of these three Japanese soccer players on a soccer field, and they're playing against 100 little kids, like 5 or 6, and the three Japanese players absolutely destroy the kids. It's like 100 kids, and they're just weaving in and out. And that's a great application, actually. I think that's a great example. Three people in synchronized beliefs are more powerful than 1,000 people who've never looked each other in the eyes. I mean, the kids, they can't even really look up. But teamwork is very important to achieving the goals and the dreams that you have in your life. And it's also a fun part of life. It's a very interesting part of life to find kindred spirits in this vast, wide world. How crazy is it that I'm a comedian and I've found other comedians who want the same things in this world? You know, these types of spirits tend to gravitate together. And, you know, the idea of being soulbound, I don't know much about that, but I think kindred spirits do find each other. And it's a very important part of life and success and just the experience of life. And what I wanted to talk about with teamwork is how to find a team, how to make a great team. Because, you know, I'm on some great teams. I got my good friend Alex Payne, check him out, amazing comedian, amazing person. Funniest person, one of the funniest people in New York, in the world, in terms of comedy. Brilliant mind. You know, I'm glad I found him, and other team members you have. You know, even people you date, it's part of a team. Again, not a dating show, but teamwork is very important to making the dream work, as they say. So let's kind of get into it. First off, this is very real. If you don't have anyone on your team, don't just put anyone up first. Or actually, batting cleanup. We're going to talk about baseball. Cleanup's usually the best hitters, right? Don't just put anyone on your team, right? It's better to work alone than with awful teammates. So that's one thing. Make sure you have the right standards. Understand that itself is a test. It's better to work alone than to just surround yourself with people, because it's going to waste your time. And it's going to waste theirs too. Like, you can be the filter to make sure they're not wasting their own time by not wasting yours. But first off, are they reliable? You got to find people who are reliable. There's a lot of ways to find this and look for this. A lot of it can just simply be from being around people and seeing, do they do the things that they want to do, right? Are they showing up when you need them to show up? It takes time to figure out reliability. It's one that takes time to get to, but don't ignore the signs if someone is reliable or not. You know, it doesn't just have to be for the biggest situations in life. If you're sick or something happened, there's a lot of ways you can find out if people are reliable, and don't ignore the signs. Communication is another big one. How well does someone communicate? And here's a caveat. Is I think you need to learn how people like to communicate and communicate with them in that manner. Some people like to text, some people like to do it in person. Phone calls, my boy Bill, he loves to hit the FaceTime, so I'll FaceTime with him. Figure out what someone's communication style is and you can work with it. But at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to communicate well with you, that's not your problem. That's their problem, and leave it that way. You've got to communicate well to be on a team together. You have to. Fundamental building block. You know, collaboration is another big one. And when I think of collaboration, you work on things together, but importantly with the team, we're all very different. We could have shared goals, but we also have other things that we want to do in our life. And I want the best for my friends. Like my friend Alex, he's working on a cartoon, Metropolitans. I want it to blow up. I want that to do great. I want it to be on Adult Swim and Netflix and HBO and all that stuff. And I don't really have anything to do with it, but I wouldn't be upset or envious. It's a great thing. When people climb the ladder of life and they're on their team, they help you get up the ladder. If you're truly on a team, you want the best for your friends and people and vice versa. So when I think about collaboration, to me, that's a big part of it. Can you support each other? Attitude. Attitude is also big, because I'll tell you what, I'm not always motivated to make these videos. I hope you can't tell, but sometimes I don't feel the motivation. So you gotta have someone who understands that part of discipline is keeping a positive attitude, even when the motivation isn't there. No matter what, you're getting the work done, and you have the right attitude to get it done. Attitude is huge. You gotta look out for that. And then I would say growth is probably the other one. Does someone really want to grow? Because as you guys grow, paradoxically, you meet people at the beginning. You see it in relationships, not a dating show. You see people in relationships, and as they grow, they're different, right? Or on teams, right? No hate to Key and Peele, but this is nothing bad about it, but Key and Peele, you look at where they're at, Jordan wanted to make movies. So Jordan's making movies now. Everyone's different, and Michael Keegan Key is doing his own thing. But part of being on a team is understanding we're gonna grow. And you don't have to grow apart, you can grow together. You're gonna be different people as you grow and you achieve the successes that you want together. It's gonna paradoxically make you guys different, people different. And you have to understand that's a part of it, is knowing you're not gonna be the same as you were 5 years ago. This life, for all of us. I have white in my beard now. I didn't have that 2 years ago. It's freaking me out. But that's kind of what life is understanding that as you grow, things will change, and accepting that. And having someone who is the same, and they're not like, man, I miss the old Kanye. There's a reason he made that song, folks. Because we grow and we change. And these things, yeah, they're all simple and they're easy to explain. But finding it is the hard part. So don't give up trying to find your team. Give yourself the time, give yourself the grace to process it and find it, because it takes time. But once you find it, nurture it. Really nurture it. Nurture your team, nurture the people in your corner, nurture them the way they nurture you, because they deserve it, and so do you. And don't forget, teamwork makes the dream work, baby.